All right, welcome back. So we're going to look at what insulin does in your body de depending on what you eat. And then that way you're going to understand why there's so much confusion about carbs and why so many people it helps them to reduce carbs to lose weight. But then of course, if you can't, what are you going to do if you reduce your carbs and you can't digest protein or fat, right? Like you're not going to have anything left to eat. So you can see why you have to restore your digestion to an optimal place so that you can digest and absorb everything, right? And then you can eat a balanced diet. But let's look what happens when we can't digest protein and we can't digest fat very well, and all we feel comfortable eating and all that we feel energized by is carbs. So we have this blue line here, which represents eating carbs. Okay. So if we eat a meal of, the typical standard North American diet, we get up in the morning, we have cereal. That's got sugar in it. Even if we don't add extra sugar in it, the grains naturally have carbs in them. We eat milk. Milk has milk sugar in it. There's more sugar. Then people have like a glass of orange juice on the side, which is more sugar. And that meal has hardly any protein and hardly any fat in it, right? So it's mostly carbs. So we eat the carb, all the glucose, and then that spikes also the insulin simultaneously. So you can see here, we eat the glucose, we get a spike in insulin. Okay, so it goes up and then eventually it goes down again. So, but here is our fat burning zone, right? We have to have not so much glucose if we want to actually get into fat burning mode, because we want to make sure our insulin doesn't go up like this. Okay, so, but most people are having tons and tons of glucose all day. So let's say you do that, and then you have at 11, you have a snack of a granola bar. Oh, that's healthy because it's granola. That's like totally crunchy, granola health food. But no, it's high in carbohydrates because it has like lots of oats in it, and it doesn't really have any protein in it. So anyways, you've got this crazy breakfast, this North American breakfast. Then you have this granola bar at lunch. So you spiked your glucose might have gone down because you weren't eating in between here, but your insulin stays elevated, and then it doesn't go down. It actually stays up and continues to climb because of the next insulin raising snack, which is like a high sugar snack, even if there's no sugar added. Okay. It's inherent inside of the grain is the sugar, the natural inherent carbohydrate sugar. All carbohydrates, when they're digested, they break down into simple sugars. Okay, so how most people eat is that they do this all day. Then, they have another spike again mid-afternoon. They need a coffee and a donut, and then, woo, now it's really elevated. At no point did insulin get in the fat burning zone. Okay, even if you're eating like all healthy foods, if they are naturally high in carbohydrate, you're going to keep this hormone that stores fat elevated. Okay, and then you can see, let's say 8 p.m., we have another snack, insulin high, never getting into fat burning mode at all. Okay. And same thing at night, you should be getting into fat burning, and no, you just actually spiking all day. No point here do we get insulin in a proper way. Okay, so let's say instead we eat a meal of eggs for breakfast with some avocado and some spinach. Then you can see here we don't get out of fat burning zone, but yet we've had a meal that is actually balanced. It's got our protein, it's got our fat, and it even has carbs, but not really not high carb foods, right? Like an avocado has some carbs in it and spinach has carbs in it, but it's not enough to stimulate a lot of insulin. Okay, let's say we have like a squirrely bread sandwich at lunch. It's like a little bit lower carb because it's a sprouted bread. So we do get out of the zone, but it's not that bad, right? And then let's say we have a nice piece of cheese over here. Again, not high carb. We stay in fat burning mode. We go over here. And then at supper time, we eat again, but we have like non-starchy vegetables and a steak. We still stay in fat burning mode. Maybe we have like at 9 p.m., we have a hard boiled egg for a snack. bedtime snack, again, we are not stimulating too much insulin. We're not eating a lot of carbohydrates. So we don't stimulate insulin, which means for most of the day for this person, they're staying in fat burning mode. Okay. So balanced blood sugar allows us to stay primarily in our fat burning zone. So understanding insulin's role in weight loss can lead to a lot of results for people. Okay, so it's not always about just reducing carbs, because we still have like to troubleshoot that major roadblock that many people have. Okay, and that is ending cravings. So we want to figure out, first of all, we have to get the digestion optimized so that you can actually digest protein and also fats. Then that way you can actually eat this lower carbohydrate diet that will allow you to let your body go into fat burning mode. Okay. And it's not about avoiding, carbs forever. It's just about getting the right amount that keeps you in the fat burning zone. And of course, what you'll find is when you can digest protein and fat properly, and you'll start to realize, oh my gosh, you feel so much better when your blood sugar is balanced. You feel so much more full and satiated and stabilized, not just physically, but emotionally. And then also you have higher energy. So we want to address that digestive issue. We want to get our diet balanced. And then we also need to look at ending cravings, because of course, cravings are a sign of nutrient deficiencies, of those micronutrients. So we're going to talk about that in the next training.